Alright guys, Gary back again. In this video I'll be showing you how I painted this. The Foul Blightspawn from issue 12 of Warhammer 40k Conquest Magazine. Nice. As always with Death Guard, I start off with a Death Guard green spray and then went over the details and piping with Abaddon black. And I also did black on this little panel here. I'm not quite sure what it actually is, but it looks like it's holding the vial liquids that's oozing out of the pipe there. And then I went over the trims on the armour with Retribution armour. And all the little details. I didn't actually mean to get the gold on his head there. That was just a little bit of a mistake that I'll tidy up in a bit. So going over the trim and all of the sort of machinery parts, like the dials on the back of this thing. Getting better with keeping this in focus. So I built this in bits, so I'm painting it in separate sections: the marine, the nurgling, and the little machinery part that connects to the Death Guard, the Blightspawn side, doing it all separately. And then I'm going straight into lead belcher for the other details. And there's quite a bit of silver on his the machine on his back. So doing all that. And in the back there. And then I started going over the gold trim with the Agrax Earthshade to just sort of make it look a bit worn down. Bit dirty, bit grimy. And then I just sort of went solid and went over the Death Guard green with it as well, which I think the end result comes out quite nice. And then I go over the lead belcher areas with Nuln oil, which dulls, or it makes the metal look a bit more worn. And then going over the sort of flesh tubes and piping and tentacles with Bugman's Glow. I sort of experimented in this one just to see how I could get the hanging heads on the Blightspawn to look. I do go over these a couple of times in this video. And there's of course Bugman's Glow and a nurgling there. I started using Balthazar Gold on this point to sort of just do something a little bit different to the bright gold of the Retributor armour. And I figured like the weapons would look better, to be fair. Just say, I don't really go into these with an overall plan of how they're going to look. Mainly see how it, just how it forms as I'm going along. I use mute green for the sort of sludge and the slime that this guy's dripping everywhere. Because I figured it's the brightest green I have. I think it looks quite nice. I also decided to go over one of the pipes with rat skin flesh just to sort of differentiate it from the Bugman's. And then I went over the cloth with Mephiston red, because that seems to be like the sort of uniform red I'm using for these guys at the moment. And then I went over the flesh areas with Druchii Violet, sort of give a bit of shading. I always figure Druchii Violet with a bit of Carabao Crimson looks a bit more like irritated and bruised. I dry brushed over the Abaddon Black piping and some other bits with Dawnstone just to try and bring some texture. I don't know why, but black is a very difficult colour for me to paint. I then tried dry brushing Changeling Pink over the skull or the head hanging from his belt, but I think I left too much paint on my brush, so we'll go back over that again in a minute. The Nurgling kind of came out okay, and the tentacle. I'm getting better with my dry brushing, I think. I went over the moot green areas with Nurgle's Rot because I just wanted to try and like make it look a bit more sickening. So I like the technical paints. And then I tried to get some Nurgle's Rot into the cracked bits on the backpack. Did take a few attempts, and I did have to touch up the Abaddon Black a few more times, but you'll see the end result. The eye of the Nurgling, I did a fairly simple screaming skull for the eyeball, and then as neat as I could get it, Abaddon Black slit for the eye, like the pupil. I'm going to try and improve that as well at some point. And then for good luck I did another coat of Nuln Oil over all the green on the model, I think that was. Green and metal. And then went over the Nurgling and the tentacle with Carabao Crimson. And then I just put some textured, or the Stirland Mud texture paint on the base, sort of get that looking just nice and muddy. And then I realised I'd missed out these spikes, so I gave that a little coat of Lead Belcher. And then, in an effort to do something interesting with the hanging skull on the front, I tried dry brushing Cadian Fleshtone over it, which didn't come out so well, so I redid it all in Cadian Fleshtone, and then did the bits of skin that's still hanging on the head on his back as well. Once I knew the style in mud had dried nicely, I put a dry brush Verminlord hide all over it. And then touched up some more Nurgle's Rot to make it look even more sickly. And went over the Cadian Fleshtone with some Reichland Flesh Shade, just to give it a little bit of detail. And then superglued some slate to the base, put some PVA on, and applied some of this nice static grass, as you can see. And that was just a bit of tidying up, and then finished the model. And there he is. It took me a little bit longer than I thought it would to finish this one, but that's purely because of Avengers Endgame coming out, so work's been quite mental with that. But, yeah, it took me about a week and a bit to do this one. I'm quite happy with how it came out. I like how the sort of looks like the slime is dribbled all over that rock behind him as he's walking. But no, I'm impressed. I liked doing the sort of cracked effect on the machine on his back as well. That was fun. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video and seeing how I did all this. If you did, leave a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, leave them down below. If you want to see some more, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully the next video is not going to take me as long to do, so hopefully I'll see you in the future. As always, I'm Gary, aka Hopeless, and thanks for watching. See ya!